Join me as I take on the challenge of applying Stoic principles to protect myself from toxic people for a whole week. Toxic people, we've all had to deal with them at some point or another. You know, those individuals who suck the energy out of the room, leaving you feeling drained, stressed, and just plain exhausted. They could be family members, friends, coworkers, or even strangers we meet in our daily lives. The fact is, toxic people can have a serious impact on our mental and emotional well-being if we're not careful. Toxic individuals can be incredibly stressful to be around. They often have a way of making us feel like we're walking on eggshells, never knowing when they'll lash out or say something hurtful. And even if they're not overtly aggressive, their negative attitude and constant complaining can be draining. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you left an interaction with a toxic person feeling uplifted and inspired? Exactly. It's a rare occurrence if it happens at all. And then there's the emotional toll of dealing with toxic people. They often have a way of getting under our skin, making us feel angry, frustrated, or even guilty. We might find ourselves replaying conversations over and over in our heads, wondering what we could have done differently to avoid conflict or diffuse the situation. It's like they have a radar for our emotional triggers, and they know just how to push our buttons. But here's the thing, we don't have to let toxic people have control over our emotions and well-being. By applying some essential Stoic principles, we can protect ourselves from their negativity and create a more peaceful, stress-free life. One of the most powerful Stoic principles for dealing with toxic people is focusing on what we can control. Rather than getting caught up in someone else's behavior or trying to change them, we need to focus on our own reactions and responses. We can't control how others act, but we can control how we choose to react to them. This simple shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. Another key principle is practicing emotional detachment. This doesn't mean we don't care about what's happening or that we're indifferent to the feelings of others. Rather, it means we're not letting someone else's emotions dictate our own. We're not taking their negativity on board or letting it affect our mood. We're remaining calm, centered, and grounded, no matter what's going on around us. And then there's the understanding that relationships are impermanent. This can be a tough one to wrap our heads around, especially if we're dealing with family members or long-term friends. But the fact is, people come and go in our lives, and sometimes that's for the best. By recognizing that relationships can end at any moment, we're less likely to get too attached or invested in someone who's toxic. I'll never forget the time I had to deal with a particularly toxic colleague. She was constantly gossiping, spreading rumors, and causing drama wherever she went. At first, I tried to confront her, to reason with her, to get her to see the harm she was causing. But it was like talking to a brick wall. Nothing was going to change. And then I realized I was exhausting myself trying to change someone who didn't want to change. So I took a step back and applied some Stoic principles. I focused on what I could control, my own reactions and responses. I practiced emotional detachment, refusing to let her negativity affect my mood. And I remembered that relationships are impermanent. I didn't have to be tied down by her toxic behavior. The result was incredible.